Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we've got Darren Little here from Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada, with the MLM Superheroes, and we are live right now on an international broadcast, broadcasting to all four corners of the world. Guys, what I want to do here tonight is I want to get an opportunity to reach out to each person here on the panel. And, you know, there's been a lot of content that's been put into the iPass Profit Maximizer group. There's been a significant amount of bonus training that's been put into the system so far for everybody to be able to gain access to. And in addition to that, I have reached out to pretty much everybody on here that's actively working this business to be able to connect with you in some way, just to talk about some of the blockers. Okay, now guys, it's really important for you to understand that on your path to success, you are going to be in an inner battle with your own mind. Okay, and don't feel bad about this whole thing, okay, because this is really truly part of the human condition that we all battle. And the first stage is just for you to be okay with the fact that there's a human condition that exists, and you know, that's what the personal development is for, to be able to get control of your thoughts, get control of your words, and get control of your emotions so that you can start to steer this ship. Okay? Now, the important thing to know along this journey is that you're going to go through what are called peaks and valleys. Peaks and valleys. You're going to go through the yin and the yang. Sometimes you're going to be up. You're going to feel like you're in euphoria. Other times you're going to feel almost like you're in depression. Like, you know, is this all really worth it? You know, I mean, am I making any progress? I don't know. You know, maybe I should just throw in the towel. That's normal, guys. That's normal. So the moment that you just accept that you're going to go through this, okay? The up and the down, the yin and the yang, euphoria to depression. Your goal, though, is to be able to, instead of going from that, to be able to just kind of go like this, okay? So you want to be aware of what's going on in your thoughts, words, and emotions, and multiple times throughout the day, get grounded and go, how do I feel? How do I feel? Okay? Because if you feel depressed, or you feel like you're a failure, or you feel overwhelmed, or you feel like you're on a down cycle, it typically stems back to concentrated, focused thought. Okay? That's what creates the whole process. Okay? Now, you can actually trick your subconscious mind into believing that you're having a different type of experience just by changing the action steps that will trigger the concentrated, focused thought, okay? And that's where the proclamations come in. That's where the daily mirror work comes in. You've got to realize that, let's say that you are on one of these and you're going down, okay? Just be okay with the fact that, okay, number one, this is the human condition, right? It's going to go away. It's going to go back up at a certain point in time. It will shift, right? But what can you do in the meantime to be able to counterbalance it, okay? And these are a couple of the strategies that I recommend to my students. Number one is you want to go for a walk in nature, okay? That's one of the primary things. You want to connect with the trees, okay? Now, there's some magical thing with trees, guys, okay? And trees supply us with oxygen. And they've been around for, you know, some of them, you know, 100 years. I mean, some of them are gigantic. And if you take the time to go out to the forest, if you have one in your local area, and connect with nature and actually connect with the trees, there's some type of an exchange that takes place where you'll be charged by the trees. Okay, that's one thing. Another thing that you can do is you can do your proclamations. Now, if I change my physiology, so in other words, if I'm on a downer, chances are I've got shallow breathing, I'm probably slumped over or looking down. My thoughts are thinking about everything that I don't want, and that's triggering this whole process. So once you come to terms with the fact that the human condition exists, right, it's going to counterbalance itself, you know, in maybe a day or 2 days from now, right? But what can you do to speed that process up? You can get control of your thoughts, you can get control of your words, and you can get control of your emotions. So I typically will say to people, if you're in one of those times, take a piece of paper out and start writing out all the great things that you're grateful for, all the little tiny baby steps that you've had that have been positive towards your goal. Okay, so, you know, here's a perfect example. Okay, so let's take Helen as an example. Helen works a full-time job in her own business, right, with a mechanic shop, okay, and she's completely turned around this mechanic shop from a few $100,000 in the hole into profitability, and now it's back on an upswing, okay? So that's something to be grateful for. While she's been at work, she's not only generated leads, but she's generated automated income, $7 trials, $47 upgrades, and new people into her business while she's working. So those are all things to be grateful for, right? She's done, you know, a couple of blog posts where she's taken action, right? She's gotten interaction on her Facebook page or her blog post. Those are all things that are moving in a positive forward momentum. So in the event that you feel that you're on one of these, don't start beating yourself up, right? Don't start to go, because you can literally manifest that rabbit hole to go even further down the rabbit hole in the event that you don't just accept the fact that the human condition exists. There is a yin and the yang, right? And you've got to take responsibility. You have to own your thoughts, your words, and your emotions in order to start to turn this thing around, okay, if that makes sense. Okay, so that's what I just wanted to touch base on that. Now, I also want to just let you guys know that, you know, probably about 3 weeks ago for me, I was listening to an Inner Circle audio, right? Now keep in mind, we're at the point now with Empower Network where there is a massive library of millionaire mentoring, 7-figure mindset stuff in that Inner Circle, and that's one of the things that you want to be doing, especially when you're down like that, okay? Tap into the Inner Circle. Start feeding your mind, because listening to other people that have had success, that have gotten through breakthroughs, from their trials and tribulations to freedom, to break free, there you will get something called energy transference that will take place just by listening, okay, just so you know. But there was one particular audio, and I think David Wood was on it, but I think that Mars was on it, the CMO. And they were talking about how people just don't get the importance of blogging, right? Because this industry, guys, just so you know, is a relationship, connecting, and problem-solving business model, okay? Relationship, connecting, and problem-solving business model. That's the business that we're in, just so you know. It's a leadership business model. So by you sharing your journey, by you sharing your breakthroughs, by you sharing your life story, by you sharing stuff that's going on that you're learning, implementing, and then sharing the results, here's what magically happens, guys. Without even talking to people, you're building rapport, they're connecting with you heart to heart, right? And they feel like they already know you. that's why they start to enroll, okay? Now, here was my personal breakthrough. I want to share with you this, and then we're going to open up the panel here. But the post that I put out that was about me and my son, right? Me and my boy, who's 15 years old. The post that I put about life lessons and, you know, lessons that I was learning from my own son, that he had learned from me, that had gone for the whole circle and come back to me. Do you know that that post that had nothing to do with business so far has generated $3,400, that one post, okay? Now, in addition to that, the gentleman that went black card, okay, he's now bringing in his first black card. So that one blog post that was about me and my son had nothing to do with business. It was all about life lessons and contributing. It's almost like I was putting a deposit into other people's lives, okay? Now, Mark was the person that read that blog post, okay? He took action steps based upon what he learned in that blog post, and 24 hours later, he had the best day in his law firm that he's had in years. Okay, now since that time, not only has he gone black card, but he's gone back to sit in that 750 Li BMW multiple times since then, and he's reporting days, guys, just so you know, 10 sales in a day, 14 sales in a day, you know, multiple days, not just like one day, okay? I'm talking multiple days, and he's just started. This is his first month. His residual income has already over $1,300 a month, okay? He's just started. So that gives you an idea of what's possible, and that was about my personal life, right? About stuff with my son, my relationship with my son. The next one that has generated the most amount of response for me has been about my extreme mountain adventure. Now, this was a major breakthrough for me, guys, okay? Huge, huge breakthrough. Because what I talk about the, you know, what my mentor taught me, right, was rule number 1, don't talk about the company, and rule number 2, don't talk about the products, right? Talk about them, right? That's with just natural networking, okay? Now, here was the interesting thing. The post that was about my extreme mountain adventure in a 24, maybe a 48-hour period of time, that one blog post that had nothing to do with business, it had everything to do with lifestyle and adventure. 5 signups, guys. 5 signups. Okay, now I was just as shocked as anybody as I'm watching this stuff actually happen. But it's confirming everything that Dave Wood talked about, okay? So today I just posted this blog post that says, you know, 2 things that I learned from my mentor that made me millions. That one blog post, the moment that I hit send and it went out to my list and people read it, I've had 6 people, 6 so far, it hasn't even been 24 hours yet, that have either sent me an email, they have you know, said, hey, I really want to get started in this program, okay? Or they've said, they've left an actual comment on the blog post. 6 people, okay? And it's not even 24 hours yet. So I want for you to really understand that if you make it a goal, guys, okay, to be okay with being vulnerable, number 1, share your journey. Share your journey. Whatever's been painful for you in your past is actually your gateway, just so you know, to the future, okay? Because by you sharing your lesson that you learned in your journey, you are going to be opening up a doorway for another person that's going to read it. And if you're okay with typing or writing and having these emotions come up, which is your final breakthrough, that is literally going to shower you with abundance, guys, just so you know. Literally, it will shower you with abundance because you're making deposits into the universe. okay? You're depositing, right, your breakthrough for other people to have their breakthrough, right? That's the key to really understanding how this all works. How can a blog be that gateway, right? It's going to allow you to connect to people's hearts, okay? So don't think that every post that you've got to do is, hey, get in my deal. Hey, you got to figure out your wealth abundance mindset, blah, blah, blah. That's not all of it. That's not all of it, guys, okay? It's only a little tiny sliver, right? Because the things that people really want is freedom. That's what they really want. They want more quality time with their family, with their children. They want to not have to be stuck in traffic, right? They don't want to have to report to a boss that they can't even stand, right? So don't think that, you know, it's all just about wealth creation, because that's not all of it, right? There's so many other things, and the blog posts are proof that the biggest response that I got so far had to do with family, spending more time with my son, more quality time with my son, and adventure, okay? Adventure, so keep that in mind. Okay, so Marjorie, welcome to the team. Marjorie just went black card, guys, just so you know. Welcome to the team, and if you can maybe just introduce yourself real quickly and share a little bit about yourself to the group.
Well, I'm living in Calgary, an area of no snow right now, and about 30 degrees. At 30 degrees today, pretty good. Not Fahrenheit, centigrade. I've been in network marketing for a considerable amount of time, and wanted to find a way to be better at it, and found you because you were writing me, which was really nice.
Fantastic, fantastic. Now let me ask you this, Marjorie, because maybe this will help these people that are on the panel here to really understand the power of this. Because I know that when we were chatting on the phone there that one time, you were saying, Darren, like, you know, I mean, this last 2 weeks or something, you know, you've sent me these emails and there's been some really good stuff there. Mm-hmm. What was it that got you to say, okay, I'm doing this? Right? Because from never talking to me
I've been doing a lot of reading about from the things that you've been sending me even today, and one of the things that I find profound, which is way different from the network marketing that I know, is it's not about trying to sell people. It's about relationshiping, and being a psychologist, that's really important to me. And I've had the opportunity to form some really wonderful relationships with people based on their needs, not mine.
Fantastic. And guys, what Marjorie is talking about right here is called the polarity of the magnet. Okay, and I talk about it a lot in my training, of the polarity of the magnet. So, you know, a magnet, if you take a magnet and you work it one way, it has a magnetic pull, and if you flip it around and it's magnet to magnet, there's nothing you can do. They repel each other. Okay, so that's, if you can get that, I would encourage you to go get 2 magnets and put them together, and all of a sudden they'll get to a certain point and they'll just go zoom, and they'll connect, right? If you turn that magnet around and you push the magnets together, they get to this point, and there's this energy force between them, and they repel one another, okay? The difference between pitching and connecting is that when you're connecting with a person and the conversation's all about the other person, you're actually pulling them towards you, right? Like this, you're becoming the attractor factor. And if you can get them connected to their dream, okay, all you've got to do is pique their curiosity and get out of the way. Okay, the tools are going to do all the rest of the work for you, okay? Fantastic. Thanks a lot for sharing. Let's go over to Mary Barnett.
Yes.
Okay. Mary, you have just been like, holy cow, buckle up, fasten your seatbelts. The last 30 days for you has been like Star Trek. I mean, you've been on Warp 9 for your breakthrough. It's been so amazing to watch, but maybe you can share some of your personal insights of what's gone on for you in the last 30 days.
Wow, so much. I guess what's happened for me is like this wall that I had built up. It was like this concrete wall, you know, I had just built around myself over the last 50 years. And it's like just all of a sudden, just the more I've dug into this and, you know, the Darren's training, I think that's what really spurred it, was listening to Darren and then getting involved in the inner circle, on top of all the other personal development stuff I had been doing. And it's just kind of all come together, and it's just like exploding inside of me, and it just feels like one brick after another is just coming down off this wall, and it's an amazing feeling. I mean, every time I turn around, every day feels, I can feel something changing in a positive motion, in a forward motion. So some days are a little stronger than others, but for the most part, it's a steady progression.
Fantastic. Now, one of the things that I've really noticed is that your content has really shifted in a big way. Now, I don't know if you're just basically tapping into the universal superconscious. Your content in the last, especially this last week to 10 days, has made a dramatic shift. Share with us a little bit about that.
My content. Well, I've had a lot of pain in my life. So the thing, and I came from a very Christian upbringing, Lutheran. I was baptized and confirmed and everything, and I was raised to believe that if you just ask God, you believe in Him strong enough, that everything's going to work out. You know, He has His path for you, you know, and it's all going to, you know, come to you and everything. And I've had to I finally realized, it just finally dawned on me that that's so not true. I mean, that's just not true. I have to do the work. It's my dream. You know, I have to. It's my thoughts. It's all me. It's all me. And all that personal development and everything, it just finally all made sense, because, you know, a lot of that stuff I had read a long time ago, and honestly, I didn't totally comprehend it. And then it's like, just suddenly it's like, bam, I understand what that means. Oh my God, I know what that means. And it's just, you know, so it's just years of that stuff that is, you know, that has been put into my programming is starting to come out. So
fantastic. Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go over to Jessica. How are you, Jessica? If you can unmute there.
Hi, Darren. I'm doing good.
Just adjust your camera there a bit so we can see you. There you go. Okay.
I'm doing good.
So, Jessica, you know, you've been plugged into the training here for probably about the last month and a half or so. You know, I've noticed some major shifts for you. I saw that you just started your blog. You just started your first blog post. But your content has been shifting, and I think that maybe that has to do with your mindset. Share with us a little bit about that. What's been your breakthroughs?
Definitely listening to your training and going to see the exotic car lot. That was fun. Definitely just learning new things every day and implementing them, learning how to blog now. So I'm doing my third one now.
So let me ask you this. Maybe you can share with the people, because a lot of people think that, you know, we had this bizarre kind of thing that happened there in the group there with one of the students that I finally just had to let go because she just wasn't coachable. She was convinced that me telling people to go to these exotic car dealerships and sit in a $300,000 car was egotistical, and it was narcissistic, and she refused to do it. She's completely broke. She refused to go. She would not have anything to do with it, and she figured it was all about material things. Guys, I want to tell you this. It has nothing to do with that. Anything that has an amount, a cost on it, like 300 grand or $500,000, it's for a reason, because it has a significant attention to detail. And it means that there's been a significant amount of human exchange with that thing to create it, okay? Whether it's a watch that's $35,000, it's not about the materialistic thing, it's about its resonance, its frequency, and its vibration that it holds, okay? And there's something in quantum physics called energy transference that takes place if you're in the presence of something like that or you sit in it. There's something called energy transference that takes place where that power can transfer into your body so you can go get the money to do whatever you want, right? If you want to give it all away, great, give it all away. If you want to buy a farm and live in the middle of nowhere, great, awesome, right? Whatever it is that you want, this is just a gateway to help speed that up. So tell us a little bit about that. Jessica, when you sat in a car that was, you know, $400,000, I noticed that there was a McLaren there that you were there. Tell us about that experience in your physiology of your body.
The car said don't touch, so I didn't get to sit in it yet, but I'm going to ask them next time if they'll let me sit in one. But just looking at them, looking at the texture of the paint, I mean, one of the paints costs more than my car that I own right now. So just thinking about owning a car that the paint alone costs more than my car is a pretty amazing feeling. I'm planning on going to look at a house next that at least costs $1 million.
Fantastic. Well, that's a great, because see, did you notice her physiology in her body, guys? Did you notice that? Did you watch her physiology in her face and everything on how it lit up, right, when she was talking about that experience? That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about, guys. It has nothing to do with materialistic things. What it has to do with is this. What's going on? What's your body communicating out with those electrons? Because the electrons are waiting for your instructions, guys, just so you know, okay? Okay, let's go over to Jason. Jason, how are you, sir?
I'm great, Darren.
Fantastic. Jason, you know, the last, I would say probably about the last 30 days for you, you know, there's been some major shifts happening. I can see it in your blog posts. I can see it in your content. Share with us a little bit about that. Well, because I know this. Not only do you have people interacting and commenting on your blog, you have your phones ringing with incoming phone calls with people asking to join your business as a leader. What shifted for you? What was the what's changed?
Darren, my shift, what have changed was I came from 3 years background doing network marketing, just knowing about pitching, trying to get someone to join my business. And from listening to the training and trying to build a relationship, I started to provide value to all my clients, all my leads, and I saw a major change with my clients. Now they're actually asking me questions. They want to find out more about the business. Most of them want to join. Some of them have signed up, especially with the blog, just sharing value and trying to solve a problem. It's a significant change. There was a big change for me, a big change for me seeing that amount of people and traffic is actually coming my way than before. Before I was pitching and people was like running away. Now I'm just sitting here providing value and everyone is coming to me.
Fantastic. Guys, this is so significant here. And if you get this, what Jason is saying right now, you can put your life onto a completely different path. And I actually wrote a blog post about this because the old world that I came from, when I used to find out about a really exciting or hot deal, okay, I would start getting anxiety in my body. Anxiety, guys. Anxiety. Because I would be thinking like, oh my God, oh, my people, somebody else is going to be contacting my people. What if somebody else gets all my leaders before I can even get to them, right? I don't have that at all, right? Because there's literally an endless supply of leaders that are out there. An endless supply, guys. I'm telling you this for fact. It's a holographic universe, and there's an endless supply of leads out there for all of us, okay? So what happens once you make this shift, once you make this distinction between pitching and just standing here totally grounded and providing massive value to the marketplace, solving people's problems, they all start coming to you. Okay, and that's what's happening right now for Jason, okay? His phone is ringing with incoming calls. He's got people reaching out to him asking questions because they're looking at him as a leader. Big difference, guys. Big difference. Congratulations on that major breakthrough, Jason. You're awesome, man. Okay, let's go over to James. James, how are you, sir?
We are doing spectacular, Darren.
Good, good, good.
Good night for a call, and nothing happens by accident. It's all for a reason.
You're absolutely right. You know, James, I want to focus a little bit here because I think this is really significant. You know, I talk a lot about in my training how we speak our realities into existence. We speak our realities into existence. And your statement that you made was that, hold on a second, I'm just going to have to mute you here while I'm talking here. Okay. So the statement that you made in your writing was that you had this fear that by investing time into your iPass business, that you were actually going to be taking away from your speaking and from your coaching. And my response to you was that, hey, that's a really good story to actually stop you from moving down into an area of your exit, okay? Because if you have good content and you're providing value to the marketplace, okay, if I do this, hey guys, Darren Little here with the MLM Superheroes, I'm just want to do this quick video, blah, 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 there's 5 minutes, okay? So that's certainly not going to take away from my coaching or my speaking, okay? 5 minutes, content, value, right? I could actually do 3 of those, clone myself 3 times in 15 minutes, and be depositing into the universe, creating value, right? Right? And creating my exit strategy. So, you know, share with us a little bit about what happened for you when you read my post. Talk about that.
Let me bring that back up so I can get on that train of thought. Without seeing it yet, it's, as you're aware, everybody else may not be. I went through Dov's program, the SAL speaker program, last year. So it's all about digging into our past and finding our anchors, if you will, the things, the shit that we're carrying on our back and having in our closet, and becoming vulnerable, putting it out on the plate for everybody to see. Because by taking my vulnerabilities and presenting them to the public, that turns into my power. It's no longer holding me down, it's thrusting me forward. And I see that in many posts out there, and that your post sort of tripped me on that, made me think about that again. And I understand that the excuses, and I'm using that word intention because that's all they are. I mean, I've got a lot of shit going on. We all have shit going on. What's going to control my life, the shit or the stuff that I want to manifest? But I know that there's still a part of me that tries to find a legitimate excuse. It doesn't exist. I understand it's a running game. And it's a mind game that I keep playing with. I can see myself playing it. It's a tennis match, back and forth, back and forth. It's shit. No, but it's true. It's shit. It's true. I know I'm going through a lot of shit. Okay, fine. Deal with it, but learn to get on with the show. Get doing with what I know I need to do. I know for me, it is a tennis match inside my head. Getting beyond that point and saying, okay, I can still go through the pain that I have to go through to process the things in my personal life. I'm going through a divorce. I'm selling a house. I'm relocating to another part of the country. I've got a lot of things going on. I want to walk out of 9 to 5. Okay, are these excuses or are they just minor obstacles? I decide.
So let me ask you this. Let me ask you this, James, because I think that this is really important for you to actually come to terms with, okay? You got to come to terms with this one area that I'm going to bring up right now. And that's whether or not you love yourself enough to feel worthy of having that exit strategy. Number one, do you love yourself enough to stop the struggle, to stop the repetitive cycle, right? To put an end to the repetition, to put an end, a final end, to finally be free. Do you love yourself enough to be able to make that happen for yourself, number one? And do you feel confident enough in your content to surrender completely, to surrender, and to know that it doesn't matter what anybody thinks, because it's going to connect with the right people at the right time on their path in their life, and if people don't like it, too bad. It doesn't matter, right? Are you prepared to be vulnerable enough to surrender your content out to the world, out to the universe, and know that that's going to be other people's breakthrough to take them to the next level? Because I believe that those are your two blockers right now that you've got to come to terms with. So give me some feedback.
I can give you the easy one first, which I know I have no problem with. Surrendering my story, surrendering my content. Like one of Dov's sayings, who suffers when I choose to play small? So I refuse to play small in all of my life. But I'm hit the stepping out of that limiting belief, and maybe it's not loving myself enough to put an end to some of the drama that I seem to just hold on to and maintain. That's my I realize is my bigger challenge. I will share my journey now, and I've shared with many people, and I've seen it change their lives. I've seen some of them turn harsh and afraid, because when you start revealing where they came from, it's scary. It's scary and all shit. But the freedom is going there and feeling it. So I can share my journey. I can share my content. Not a problem. Do I love myself enough? I'm not there yet. I know I'm not. That's my obstacle.
Okay, so here's the question. You know, guys, just so you know, if you guys really just trust me here, okay, if you trust this process, if you trust going through Unstoppable Vision and getting clear on what it is that you want, why it is that you want it, and getting emotionally connected to your dream and peeling back that onion, the layers of the onion, to figure out what, okay, so you say, oh, you know, Darren, I want to live on this, this $2 million home looking over the hill, right? Why? Why do you want to live in that $2 million home? Well, because the place that I'm in right now is really, really cramped, right? And I know that if I had that amount of open space, that I would really be in my preferred state, okay? So tell me more about that. Tell me more about that open space, right? So as you start peeling back this onion, you start to get deeper and deeper down the rabbit hole to figure out, oh, geez, there was this event that happened when I was 5 years old, right? And it's all linked to that, right? That's opening up the gateway to really understand your core. Once you get to that core driver, guys, your whole world will completely change, right? Because it won't be superficial anymore. You will know why it needs to happen in your life for you to be in that preferred state of being. Because that's really what this is all about, guys. Our journey is if you can get to your preferred state of being and love yourself enough to allow it to happen, right? Because most of us, just so you know, are actually addicted to the struggle. How about that? How about that? We're addicted to the struggle. So even when we start the liftoff, guess what magically happens? Self-sabotage happens. Why? Right? Why? Because it's actually exiting our comfort zone, which is the struggle, right? So we actually sabotage that advancement from taking place because we're used to a certain thing, right? Now, one of my mentors that I went through training with, which was Dov Barron as well, he talks about how our bodies, right, our bodies, the physiology in our body get addicted to certain, adrenalines and chemicals that we produce as human beings when we're in certain situations that the body gets comfortable with. So if you don't have those certain things, your body's not producing this stuff. Why do people duplicate toxic relationships? Because they're addicted to it. Their body, their physiology in their bodies is addicted to that sort of, chemical that's being produced internally in their body when all this chaos and, stuff happens. So it's a good recognition on that one. Okay, so let's go over to Helen. Helen, you're muted.
Okay.
Okay.
You hear me?
Yeah. So Helen, can you just adjust your camera there so we can see you?
I'm on a big computer. Can't adjust my camera.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I'm in the computer. Okay, I sit a little bit further away. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. We can hear you. So Helen, maybe just share with people here what's been your biggest breakthrough this last month? Because I know that you started back into your blog. I've seen you've got $7 autopilot commissions coming in. You've got $47 upgrades. Tell me more about what's been your breakthrough.
After reading all the posts, the posts that you put up, you have very nice content. It really get to the point that, like this morning, I was reading the post that you put up for yesterday. It really tell you step by step what we're supposed to do. And it's not jumping around. You lay it out very, step by step.
Okay.
And very clear, and then trigger me that, if I continue writing my story, I am sure that, out there, even though it's a short story, I'm sure that I connect with some of the people out there. It might not at the level, at your level. There are a lot of people at my level. I can only say that by connecting with you, it has been a very, you really helped me a lot by step breaking through all these blocks that I have been carrying for maybe 30 years.
Wow.
I really see the point now that it's all about sharing my personal story.
Okay, so Helen, this can really help a lot of people right now, okay? If you're prepared right now just to be a little bit vulnerable and share what was holding you back, Helen? What was that blocker? What was that thing that's been holding you back for these 30 years? That's a long time, right? Share with us a little bit about that if you can.
I think it's because when I got, like, since I landed here, it's the story that, like, I brought in 2 little kids with me, that I have to work extra hard to take care of my 2 kids. And my husband was not supporting me. And then I worked like 8 shifts and 9 shifts a week to pay for all my expenses. I always tell myself that I don't have time to do any upgrade to myself. I have been working extra hard, like always. Almost most of the time I am holding 2 to 3 jobs in order for me to pay my bill, because I'm paying, like, I'm working on minimum wages. So it's really, like, it really hurt inside. I've been holding all this, like, anger, all this guilt that I've been holding back on it. I don't want to let go. To feel sharing. So finally, right now, I think that, like, it's time for me to get over it. Yes, right now, to a point that, like, I'm like kind of like, to a point that I'm kind of more stable on my financial side. I don't have to worry about my bill anymore. That I really want to share with the world that, like, even though you're working at a minimum pay job, you can live a very, very well life here, as long as we are willing to work. See, I'm working like maybe like some week that I have to work 60 hours, and with 2 little kids in the house.
Yeah, that's
like that have been really, like, ruin my health, and then all this. So I guess I see the point here now.
Okay, so guys, this is so amazing. This is like a breakthrough here. This is the breakthrough, because what I want for you guys to really understand here is that what Helen is talking about, we all go through this, guys, just so you know. We have all this stuff that happens in our reality, and it builds up inside our body, right? And it actually suppresses our physical being from going up to a higher vibrational resonance. Just like a radio broadcast station, if it's stuck, right, and there's a jam, you can't turn the volume up anymore, you can try as hard as you want to turn it up, and all you're going to be doing is broadcasting more static. Does that make sense to you guys? Right? It's not until you're prepared to go backwards, right, to open up that pain and deal with those pain and those emotions, that the vibration can get higher, and now you're starting to broadcast out beautiful music, right? Does that make sense? Okay, let's go over to Chad Turner. How are you?
I'm excellent. I'm excellent, Darren.
Fantastic. Chad, maybe you can just share with the people here, because you're sort of what I would call a newbie in marketing. You've certainly never had a $3,000 day before, and not 2 $3,000 days within your first 2 months. Talk to the brand new person. Talk to that person that is just saying, can I really do this? Talk about the mindset shift that you went through from where you were to where you are now.
Yeah, I'll just say it all starts with, just making a decision and really just decide that it's your time, to really wake up every day and just know you're on a path toward living your best life.
Okay, so let me ask you this. When you had a situation happen for you where you saw your email come in and it said, congratulations, you've just made a $3,000 commission. What did that feel like? Tell us about that experience.
Felt really good. I mean, especially the second time, because it's like it happens once, and when that first happens, you know, okay, I can do this. You know, it's already happened. And then that second time it happens, it's just like, man, you know, it feels really good. It's just like, I mean, that moment for me was really a big breaking point, or a big breakthrough. And yeah, it feels good. And there's stories coming up that signify more are coming too. So
Fantastic. Guys, what I want for you to be aware of, okay, you just witnessed a shift in physiology by talking about a specific event that took place in the past. You guys witnessed it. Okay, so we started talking, and Chad was talking about one specific event, his reality right now, right? You can see his face, right? You can see his body, everything is physiology. And then I went back to a specific moment in time where he accessed universal abundance, not once, but twice, and poof, right? Different physiology in his face. His smile came in. Did you guys watch? Did you witness that? Do you see how that happened? Right? Could you see the difference, the distinction, the shift in this? His physiology, his face, his facial muscles, everything. Your subconscious mind, guys, just so you know, does not know the difference between the past, the present, and the future. Okay? You can actually anchor yourself with past successes, right? And create what's called a neural anchor. For me, mine's right here. Okay? This is like my turbo button right here. Okay? I press this button every time something amazing happens in my life. I'm out watching a sunset, right? And I feel amazing. I push this button. Okay? If I'm hanging out with my son, right, and we're having an amazing experience, I push this button, and it fills it up almost like with nitrous oxide, okay, like a turbo button. Now, here's the great thing. In the event that I'm coming down, I feel myself coming down, and I need that, bam, I need that avalanche of all that juice. I hit this button. I don't have any control. Look what happens. It's automatic. Because that's my turbo button. You know, you got to be careful with it, because if you hit it too many times, that's going to go drop, 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 and it can actually flip and turn into a negative button, okay, a negative anchor button. So you've got to be very aware. You're tapped into your personal power, you're going to hit your button. You're tapped into your personal power, you're going to hit your button. Store it up with nitro, guys. Store it up with nitro. You will be able to use it at networking events if you're out and about. You need to put yourself in peak state. Boom, you hit your button. Whoosh, boom, you get the peak state. It happens like that. Okay, very, very cool. Okay, let's go over to Analia. Are you there? Analia, are you there? Okay, looks like we have lost Analia. Okay, Jerry, you there? Can you unmute? Jerry. Okay, they're in limbo there. Okay, so guys, what I want to do here really quickly is I want to, you know, just share with you here on your. If you set this as an intention, okay, these type of things will start to happen more for you, okay? And they're called bridges. They're called bridges, okay? Now, in our regular daily life, there's certain things that happen, right? Just regular daily activities. You know, maybe you're witnessing two people fighting over a parking spot, or you're witnessing somebody in road rage, or you're seeing a situation that happens at a lineup in a grocery store, whatever. I'm talking about regular life experience stuff, okay, that people can relate to, right? Figure out how you can pre-frame that story of what you're experiencing, what you're witnessing, and how that bridges over into the fact that you have leverage and freedom through this system that you have online. Okay, that's one of the things. Those are regular daily activities that are happening, you're witnessing happening, people stuck in traffic, the road rage, this, you know, people not being able to spend the time with their family, you're overhearing a conversation. All those things you can do videos on, okay? And then right when they happen, that's when you want to do it. Fresh, 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 right? What can you do that is something that's going on in your personal life that reminds you of your driving force, of why did you get into this business in the first place, right? Something that happens that people can relate to, right? It's called a bridge, right? You're going to bridge over into, at the very end, here's where they can get the solution to the problem, right? Which is going to be your link. Click the link below and find out what I did to be able to create freedom for me and my family through this automated system, right? So typically when you're talking about any type of marketing materials or any type of thing where, keep in mind, what you want to be promoting is you as the leader, okay? So here's a problem, right, that people experience. You had that problem, right? So it's, I know how you feel, I felt the same way, but here's what I found was the solution to the problem, and here's the results of being able to generate already in a short period of time, right? So what you guys really want to start to do is look at your data. This is what I do constantly, guys. I look at my data, and I go, what can I do with my data to create another story, okay? So as an example, today I had a situation that was kind of like a milestone for me. My residual income portion of my business cleared $4,000 a month. Well, do you realize that the average North American only makes between $3,000 and $5,000 a month, right? So within 4 months and 8 days, right, my residual portion of my income has actually right in the middle between the 3,000 and 5,000. So it's actually like a milestone day for me today, right? Because what you'll notice in your residual income side of the business is it'll go, oh, oh, and you'll have these little milestones, and you'll also be able to realize what's going on in here, what's coming out of here, and what's coming out of here, right? That's putting you into one of these little breakers, right? They'll go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and then you'll break through. It'll go to another level, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. You'll break through. It'll go to another level, back and forth, and it will slowly start creeping up like this. As you start to create more content, as you start to create more stories, bridging stories, right, of problem, solution, feel, felt, found, right? What you'll find is that all those videos, guys, are going to start to compound. Each one of those becomes a lead generator and a thing that's going to start to enroll people, right? Because they're going to get more connected to you. You're going to build more rapport with them without even talking to them, okay? Without even talking to them, guys, okay? Your leads are going to start to crank, and now you're going to take your content from your blog and email it out to all those people. Now, here's the one thing that I've noticed. If I can write a blog post plus put a video on it, I've now got a double whammy because I'm connecting with people in my writing and I'm connecting them with my speaking, right? And some people are auditory, right? That means that their trigger factor is not necessarily reading. They need to listen, right? They need to watch. They need to see you to feel that they're connecting to you. So one of the things that I will share with you from a marketing perspective is that you've got to, there's basically 3 types of personality types that you've got to be able to connect to, okay? You've got people that are visual. Okay, they need to see things, right? You've got people that are auditory. They need to hear things, right? And then you've got people that are kinesthetic. They need to feel things. Okay, so what this is called speaking to the listening. So when you're doing your writing or you're talking, you got to keep in mind, guys, there's 3 different types of personalities that you want to be able to, you know, adjust your frequency to. Visual people, typically, they tune in to people that speak really, really fast, and it's high energy and it's excitement, right? And they need to see it. They need to have a vision, right? They need to see in pictures, right? You know, so if I'm talking to somebody visual, I'll say, you know, can you see what I'm talking about? Can you see what I'm talking about? If I'm talking to somebody that's auditory, right, I'll say, how does that sound to you? Right? Real key, right? That's an auditory person. And a kinesthetic person, I'll be a lot dropped down. I'll talk a lot slower, right? Trying to adjust my tone to their tone, right? And I'll say, you know, do you feel what I'm saying? Do you feel what I'm saying? Right? So you gotta realize this, guys. You gotta become the mirror of the other person, and that's going to be adjusting your tone, adjusting your vibration, and if you're sitting with somebody, adjusting how fast you move. Visual people, they talk with their hands a lot, right? Now, if you're in kinesthetic and another person's visual, you'll be like this, okay? You'll be like this. You won't be able to connect with that person. You've got to pick it up a little bit, right? If they're visual and you're in kinesthetic, you won't be able to enroll that person because they'll feel it's just too slow. It's like, come on, pick it up, right? You've got to put up your tone. In the event that that person is in auditory and you're in visual, you're still going to be like this, right? So if the person's in kinesthetic and you're in visual, you got a major problem, guys. Okay, so you're going to have to learn how to adjust this frequency so that you can get that connection. Okay, so Mary, any closing thoughts for tonight?
Nope. Awesome sauce.
Cool. Marjorie, any closing thoughts?
No, I enjoyed what you presented, and thank you very much, everybody. I'm learning.
Fantastic. That's great news. Okay, Jessica, any closing thoughts?
No, thank you, Darren, for all your insight and everything, and everybody else for speaking. I look forward to hearing from all you guys again.
Fantastic. Jason, any closing thoughts at all?
Hello, Darren. Great webinar. Thanks for everyone input.
Cool. James, any closing thoughts at all?
For me, it's just to make a list and start checking things off, doing it. You know, instead of standing there looking back on the sideline, get in here and start doing.
Fantastic. Okay, Helen, any closing thoughts? Great breakthrough for you tonight, Helen, by the way.
Thank you. Well, like, you know, I have been thinking in my head right now, the only thing I need to do is do more blog posts, connect with more people, and then to create more leads.
Fantastic. That's good recognition there. Okay, Chad Turner.
Nice to see everyone on the panel, and I look forward to seeing more activity in the group and everyone pushing forward.
Fantastic. Any Annalie, are you there, or are you off or on? Okay, no worries. Okay, guys, you got Darren Little here with the MLM Superheroes, and thanks a lot for joining us on this exclusive and private millionaire mentoring and training call. What I would suggest is this, guys. If you are in a position right now where you're either in a state of transition or you are in a breaking point, I can tell you this. If I can help people go from completely homeless and 6 months later be making as much as $20,000 in a month, okay, from homeless, trust me when I tell you that you can change your life in 30 to 90 days. Fact, okay? There's dozens and dozens and dozens of testimonials. There's dozens of people that are transforming their lives here, dozens of people that have never had success before that in their first 3 weeks are having $3,000 days. Now, I will premise this, and I will preface this to say that those results might not be typical. And I can tell you that if you don't take any action, you will not generate any results. That's fact. Okay? But if you're a person that's in transition or breaking point, and you're ready to draw a line in the sand, and you're ready to raise your standards and step into your power and step into your greatness, we can definitely help you. So get back to the person that invited you to this particular call. Take action. Take your life to the next level. My name is Darren Little from Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada, and I look forward to meeting you in person one day, and I look forward to seeing you at the top. Bye for now.